All right. So.
Yeah. Anyway, continue with.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, right. Hi.
This is my friend Ben.
Sorry, I've got this weird allergy thing going on. It was poor timing.
Yeah, it was.
Or great timing.
I don't know.
For the comedy's sake.
Depends on who you are.
Comedic timing.
And
I have
whether you
good
had
comedic timing.
Earphones all the way in your ear or not.
Yeah. But if you're watching this on YouTube, probably not.
Yeah, hopefully not.
You're just sitting on your computer while you scroll through Reddit or Facebook or your social media of choice.
No, I hope you're not a
Which
Reddit
is
user.
social
No
media,
offense.
even social media anymore. So
yeah.
I was reading 2 different articles today that now Facebook and Twitter, both the things that they censor and block from happening on their websites.
Okay.
That they've determined
Does Twitter block anything on
Yeah, they just banned a person from Twitter forever.
Finally.
This guy named Mila Yiannopoulos. He works for the Breitbart. You know who he is?
I just read about it.
Milo Yiannopoulos. Yeah. So I like...
Oh, no. I feel like cough.
See? Look at that. So I just don't... I don't know. Like, where does freedom of speech and these platforms that were created for open communication...
Right.
Like, how do you handle that with...
people who are idiots.
Bullying and harassments.
Yeah.
Like, does everyone have a right to freedom of speech? Does everyone get a microphone?
Or is harassment simply not allowed?
Right.
That's what I say. Harassment is always wrong, especially when it's pronounced like that. Well,
yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things because it's like, as a female, you just know, like, you are a target. And if you don't know, you'll find out quickly. And I think that's what Leslie Jones said. She was like, now I know why some celebrities don't have Twitter. It's like,
right.
Yeah, honey. I mean, it's like, you're a 6 foot tall black woman. Like, there are like 5 reasons in that phrase why people will come for you.
Right.
So yeah, it just sucks that like it is like that, but
right. I mean, from my perspective, and it's easy to say as someone who's never had this happen to him.
Right.
Like, and I understand that cyberbullying is a thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we're all adults here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to read this thing that you wrote. You're an idiot. And I'm going to move on with my life and have people affirm me in real life who are actually my friends.
That can be okay. But it gets, because I guess supposedly what they were doing to Leslie, because that guy from, is it Breitbart?
Breitbart.
Whatever. It's not even English. So I speak American too. I don't even speak English. I speak American.
Yeah.
But the thing
Breitbart is so American.
He like incited a lot of additional people to spam her page. So that's the other thing. It was like, it's not like, 2 people having an argument. It's like one person inciting like a swarm of lemmings to like block up your actual feed.
Right.
And so that happens a lot. And then the other thing that can get really awful, which will happen to guys who are gamers, females definitely get targeted, but swatting is another thing.
Yeah, I've heard of swatting.
And swatting, I mean, swatting. It gets so ridiculous.
For those of you who don't know, what is swatting?
Right. You can Google it and be afraid and like go immediately and like use a PO box for everything and like change all of your accounts.
There's people who live stream themselves playing games, and people who are playing in the game with them will call 911 and say they heard a gunshot at this address, and the SWAT team will show up at the house of the person playing the game
with a bunch of guns and point the guns on their family,
so they can watch it happen live on the computer.
Yes, so it's sometimes live, and like one guy who had done a lot of it lived in Canada, where they don't come to your house with a bunch of guns and kick down your door. So he just thought it was great. He was just, but hey, was this last year? It was either this year or last year. And so they were fighting to get him extradited, and Canada seemed like they were going to cooperate. So how's that? American prison for the win. Yeah, but this is not our topic today. Our topic.
I know. Well, hang on. There's more to that though, because if you were to take the social media platform and put it in the actual public space, at like a square.
No one would do crap because they're face to face.
Right, but if you had, that's definitely true. There's something to be said for that. For this like anonymity we hide behind on computer.
Right.
But if you were to have one person who was saying something, and then you had someone who was protesting or being rude to that person, and they incited a bunch of other people to come alongside them and all harass this one person, but they're all just saying things. The law isn't to shut them down. You're not going to say, you can't do this. You have no right to be able to say these things to this person in this space.
But I think in a physical place, I think other people would intervene.
Yeah.
Because if one woman is standing there and a bunch of people are like, we're going to kill you, effing whatever. And then they're just like holding up pictures of pornography, which is also happened. There were pictures of her face with like pornographic images, like her put into pornographic situations. So like if someone were to see that, I would hope that a few people would intervene. And that's the other thing.
Well, that's happening on social media too.
Yeah.
I mean, you have people sticking up for her.
Yeah.
You have people condemning the people who are saying that to her. And so
it doesn't stop the barrage. I think that's the thing. If we could see it physically, people would realize what a barrage
it's just an interesting conversation. I'm not arguing and saying that he shouldn't have been banned. I'm just saying, where is the line drawn and how do you determine? Because what a lot of the articles and things always point to is that the more conservative people, because Breitbart is a very conservative news outlet. And so this guy who works for it is like super conservative. Yeah. So conservative that he hates the normal people in the Republican Party. Yeah. And so, but
what does that even mean?
I don't know, but you like, I don't know if they just pitch a bigger fit about it. Yeah. Those like really intense right wingers, or if the same amount of people on the far left are being banned from these scenarios, or if they just operate in a much nicer way. I don't know, but what it seems to play out though is that people are saying that both on Facebook and Twitter that it is lowering or prohibiting the far right perspective and voice on these media platforms, and like news articles on Facebook that are from conservative sites are blocked.
See that as far as news stories, I don't know, and that's probably a matter. Is that the algorithm though? Were they talking about the algorithm?
Well, they're because
they're not actually blocking the stories,
right? Well,
so let's be clear. Like, but I think people do complain about the algorithm as far as how certain things show up.
Well, that some people are saying that their articles are blocked from Facebook, because if enough people report it as abuse, then Facebook mods will step in.
Different thing.
But if it's not actual abuse and people are just saying it's abuse and their voice is then silenced, the platform is no longer free.
Well, that's slightly different though, because that can happen on YouTube if you have anti-fans. So like you could literally be like singing on YouTube and you get anti-fans and they'll do that. The other thing they'll do is they will click on all the ads, and your account will disappear too. So it's just another form of bullying, basically. Gotcha. So the thing is, like Facebook and because Twitter, that totally does not apply in this case because Twitter is ridiculous. They will let people be threatening and putting your home address up there and phone numbers before they like take their accounts off. Right. But yeah, on Facebook and YouTube, that is a problem. So like if you have people who just don't like you, they will continually either spam your ads or... I'm thinking about this. I'm giving this information out. And I'm like, don't you dare. Fortunately, I don't think we're popular enough to worry about that. But yeah, they'll click on all your ads repeatedly. Maybe. And then they will also do the flagging. Like, this is abusive. This is pornographic or whatever. And it's not. But just the bots, the systems that are in place will take it off. Right. And then you'll get dings against your account. But that's a form of bullying as well. But that's a little bit different than like taking people's accounts down because they're inciting mobs against particular people. Right. So
this is an interesting thing to sort of figure out where freedom of speech and censorship comes into play in these new platforms that haven't existed before. Right. That are like working themselves out, and so it is. That's I'm resistant to being like, oh yeah, this person who was rude, like let's just kick them off and don't give them a platform to talk because I don't know. That seems scary. That seems like the beginnings of mobs. I know, but it just seems like the beginnings of we're going to limit your voice if you disagree with the mainstream.
But again, Twitter's a private entity. That's like you going into Walmart and protesting.
Get it. Right.
So
that's
it's
true.
Like, that's why you start your own blog.
Right.
And if you need to, you get your own servers. Right. And if you need to, you like.
That's true. It is different. It's a private.
You get off the grid.
It's a private company.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want with their.
Yeah. You have to get off the grid. Be more techie. So.
Yeah. Anyways.
People need to be nice and stop inciting one another to mob violence over stupid stuff too, because it's like Leslie's an actor, for God's sake, an actor. She's not even like a politician. Like she was in a movie about ghosts.
Yeah,
with remake. Comedians. Right. Like for God's sake, it's not even.
Which unfortunately is not the movie we're talking about today.
No, it's not. Sad. Yeah, bad intro.
Should we have done that one? Did you see it?
I didn't see it. I didn't see it because I wasn't like a super big fan of the first one. So I was
never
just
saw
like,
the first
why
one
am I
either.
going to go see this one?
Yeah.
But I know it was like a phenomenon at the time. I was quite young. So, but it was just everywhere. Like the music was everywhere. I ain't afraid of no ghosts, you know. So I saw it on TV later, but because I was afraid of ghosts at the time that it came out. But it just was like, oh, shoulder shrug. Like I don't know why it was such a big deal, but whatever. So it is, I guess people liked it for the most part. They said it was pretty funny.
Right.
People, you know, it's gotten a positive review for the most part in the public. But we are focusing on a serious film because I let Ben pick this week. Again.
Well,
because we did a serious one last time. Like, I'm totally picking next episode.
That's
so
fine.
it'll be fun again. But
okay, it was super fun. What's more fun than Disney? Nothing. As we were talking the general idea of fun.
if y'all could see my face on the podcast.
Disney is fun, right? I mean, it is. It's fun. That's the thing that you show when your substitute teacher comes in because it's appropriate for everyone and it's fun.
All ages.
Yeah. And so this movie is a documentary. We've never done a documentary before.
We have not.
So it was interesting. And the documentary is about how movies were used to communicate and view the world around you.
Yeah.
And we talk about movies. So I thought, how fitting. Let's do our first documentary and do it one that's about movies to communicate. So the movie is called Life Animated.
It is.
And it's a movie by Roger Ross Williams.
Okay.
About how this kid with autism learns to interpret the world around him through Disney movies.
Yes. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is interesting. I mean, I'm sure Disney was like, yes, this is such a free boost, you know?
Absolutely. Use all of our trademark
they were like,
material.
All the clips you need, just call us. Because I was like, yeah, they totally loved that they got permission for this. I mean, it was interesting. I think the thing I took away even from when I watched the trailer was that I was like, oh my gosh, this has got to be like the luckiest autistic kid in the world. He's got really intelligent, engaged parents.
Right.
You know, he's a kid who was loved and planned for, and they have the money to give him the
best
therapy,
treatment.
the schools, the you know, just everything that he needs. And so, because the story could have gone a completely different way.
Right.
I have a first cousin who has autism. And when they said the thing about like, well, they'll just recite lines that they see, or that they hear rather from just TV or whatever. And I remember my little cousin who were sitting at the table eating. He was old enough to have vocabulary. I don't remember how old he was, but he leans into my sister and whispers. And then just goes back straight face, no expression. We're just like, what did he say? And she's like, Skittles taste the rainbow? Like, what are you like? So I guess we're eating. He was enjoying himself, and it made him think of Skittles.
Yeah, because we're tasting.
So it's interesting. But in the case of this kid, I thought it was really interesting because it seemed like obviously he was an intelligent young man, but trapped in this like, you know, mental framework of autism.
Right.
And so I did think it was really interesting how his parents were able to figure that out and to trigger a space in which he could connect some things. Right. And then that brought him to a place where he was able to connect a lot more things. Right. And again, I mean, it was just like really good parenting, really active, proactive, like attentive parenting.
I mean, at one point the dad literally says, we're not therapists, but we're pretending here. We're doing it. Like we're doing what we know. I mean, because he has a degree from Columbia University. Yeah. I mean, he worked for the Washington Post. He's a very educated guy. Right. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner. Yeah. And so, yeah, he absolutely had very engaged parents who are very smart and
just very lucky. Like I'm watching this whole thing and I'm just like, this is so brainy. Like, I mean, again, just like if they had been more average people.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
This would have gone completely differently.
And maybe that's sort of like the whole Disney thing, though. You know.
Yeah, it is the perfect storm of magicalness.
It's the whole Disney narrative, which fits perfectly into it being the catalyst to tell his story. Yeah.
Except for the girlfriend. Spoiler. I was like, oh, girl, no, you didn't.
Yeah, that was... No, I didn't see that coming at all.
Sorry. That was an inappropriate laugh. That was horrible. And I was just like...
Yeah, you're a terrible person, Taryn.
But I also was like, you know, but that's a full life, though.
That's true.
Because you have to go through all the stages of growing up, you know, and that's part of it.
Right.
So... but
that was the least Disney thing that happened in the whole movie.
It was. And then I was like, aw. And then see, it's like Disney, everything always goes your way. Right. You know? Right. But that was actually in the musical Oklahoma, though. Everything's going my way.
Oh, yeah.
What a beautiful morning. So yeah, it was interesting. I thought also the relationship between him and his brother, like the older brother, trying to be like, saying, have you kissed her or whatever, like trying to get that. That was killing me. I was like, oh my gosh, please leave your simple-minded brother alone and let him not get
I thought that was so funny.
Like, just let him not get, why can't you sleep at night? Because his relationship is not progressing. Like, so that did make me laugh. So I was like, oh.
Yeah.
The big brother is trying to be like,
this is what you do. So in Disney, like when they kiss though.
Yeah.
But like.
And he was like, yo, how do you kiss though? With what? And he was like, with my emotions.
Okay, that kid was so eloquent. Like when he calls his mom to ask her about, tell her that his girlfriend just broke up with him.
Yeah.
And he goes, I think I tried to memorize the line so I could say it today. But he calls his mom and goes, Mom, why is the world full of sadness and tragedy? And that was like the first thing he says. And you're like, who talks like that? Who says that? I guess a kid whose life is these scripted Disney movies, he has like these perfect words and he doesn't waste his words because he for so long didn't communicate. And so like his emotion, he's feeling sadness and tragedy. And so he says, why is the world so full of sadness and tragedy?
It was definitely an interesting cross-section of like intelligence, obviously, with like precise wording and vocabulary and just this inability to do the normal things like small talk.
Right.
So that's fascinating as well, just in general with autism, the different, all across the spectrum, the different abilities that people have and then like where they lack ability. That's always fascinating and it's kind of unpredictable. Because you never really know what you're gonna get, like a box of chocolates.
Right.
So yeah, I thought that was interesting. But then like with him trying to do small talk, when they're like coaching him to do small talk, and so I mean it was interesting to watch. Like I haven't had like really close experiences with people with autism.
Yeah, me neither. And that's what I was gonna say too.
Yeah, so I did find it fascinating in that way, just kind of watching, because I don't know, maybe it was like a year or 2 year period that they were filming, watching him progress a little bit as an older, but still a young man, but like an older autistic child kind of.
Right.
I mean, he's early 20s, so he's not really a child, but mentally he's a little bit, childish, I guess, kind of immature. So watching him progress and try to get to the place of independence and just do normal stuff, normal teenagey stuff.
Right.
But in the lens of Disney, like he would kind of fall back. He's like having a stressful day. He's going to watch a scene that kind of reminds him of the day he had and stuff like that. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That whole process.
Now so this podcast isn't entertaining and fun when we agree on things. So what in the movie didn't you like? You said it was okay and you tolerated it. But what did you not like about it?
It wasn't that I didn't like it, but I was just like, oh, like it's so magical for someone who doesn't like the Disneyfication of Christian films. This was like a Disney story. It's like the autistic kid where like everything goes reasonably well. I mean, still has autism. He still can't really live on his own. But for an autistic person,
who decides what a normal and meaningful life is?
Right. Like his dad says or something.
Yeah.
But movie. I mean, for a person with this level of disability, like he actually has like a pretty happy story.
Yeah, he does.
So it just seems somewhat bland in that way. So I was kind of like, not that I'm like looking for tragedy, but it's also a documentary, and I don't typically watch like documentaries about like a single individual. I usually watch about like time period or historical period.
Right.
And then, but I couldn't help but think, because, they have this animated sequence from the story that he wrote about a boy like him, it's basically about himself. And the sequence where it's like, the darkness descends on the little toddler and I was just like, okay, obviously there's something kind of creepy and good versus evil about that. But then I also was like, oh my God, I think I'm an anti-vaxxer, because I'm like, it happened at 3. If they just waited a little bit longer for those shots, like maybe he would have made it.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like, because I just have this paranoia where I'm just like, okay, look, just wait. Can you just wait till kindergarten? Just wait until 4 or 5 to get those shots. Can you just
Did you know he had the shots? Did you
make it
know?
through? No, they didn't say it, but
Exactly.
I'm sure he had the shots. So
why are you so sure?
Because I also was curious why that didn't come up, because I felt like if they were like pro-vaccination, then I felt like if they weren't pro-vaccination, they would have brought it up. Because if they hadn't gotten him shots, they probably would have been like, we didn't get him any shots, blah, blah, blah. But if you get your kid shots and you know that people are paranoid about shots, you're not going to bring up the fact that your kid got shots and got autism. So I was like, yeah, he
But if you're
obviously
a
had the
journalist
shots.
who's worth his salt as a journalist, then you're going to be unbiased in that.
Then you should bring it up either way. And they didn't mention it at all.
Well, he might have brought it up. It might have just gotten cut out of the film.
True. It could have gotten cut.
But
we don't know.
And he might mention it in the book. He might mention it in the book. There is a book. It was based on a book, so we could read the book and know.
Because I feel like one thing that would help with like the anti-vax like folks, it's like, hey, if you have statistics of like kids who didn't get their shots and they're still autistic and it's at the same rate, then publish that crap. But I don't know why it hasn't been published. So that's kind of like, that looks kind of conspiratorial. Like, why isn't there a big study going, hey, look, we rounded up, which they should. We rounded up these children who don't have shots, put them all in the same room. We counted how many had autism. Like, that would shut it down. But like, no one does that. So, I mean, I'm childless. I'm just saying.
That's
like,
a good point.
If I have a baby, I'm kind of like, you
Show
can wait until
stats.
5. You can wait until 5, honey. We'll just stay in the house for 5 years. You know? So, I don't know. Yeah. But I was curious why they didn't come up at all. And I know they probably didn't want to change the focus of the film.
Yeah, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I don't know where that study is.
Yeah.
But that's not the point of this.
No.
But I loved everything about the movie.
You would. Okay.
I did.
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, I spent a lot of my time in college and in some of my classes talking about how terrible Disney is and how like awful it is for body image and for like setting these unrealistic expectations of the world and how, you know, it's not good to teach these kids like these things. And like, you know, I just sat through it as like, okay, maybe there's some validity to this, but also
how
like,
boys always think they're going to get the girl.
Disney.
So.
But anyway,
but
then I watched this movie and I'm like, no, like in these simple stories of hope, like it can do so much good. And it gives this kid, I mean, I'm sure he's not the only one. Disney is so pervasive in our culture, but it gives this kid a way to interpret the world around him and a way to communicate that he wouldn't have had otherwise. And it's just anecdotal and it's just one story, but it's just so, and it's not just for Disney either, but to sort of remind myself as someone who like has these sort of silly standards for what I want a movie to be like, okay, there is something to be said for the simple. There's something to be said for the simplistic story with these animated, childish, singy movies that can do good, that can like matter to people and affect change in the world, even though I don't see it immediately. And so I like really liked that sort of the other side of the story being told to me. And so I just like cried a lot and was just really happy as I watched the movie the whole time.
Oh my gosh, that's
wonderful.
so funny. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, our tastes are just remarkably dissimilar.
But even when like that should be, those perspectives I think should be different.
Yeah, no, it's interesting too, because then I was like, this boy, this is everything he learned in the world. And I was like, this is why representation matters. I was like, I don't see a copy of The Princess and the Frog on that bookshelf. I'm not saying he doesn't have one. I'm just saying. So I was like, you know,
that's
if
true.
you like,
That's
when
true.
I saw The Princess and the Frog.
That's very true.
When I saw The Princess and the Frog, I didn't realize how much those images affect you or don't affect you until I saw it. And I was watching it and I was like, oh my God, that reminds me of my niece. This is like the first time I've ever seen an animated character that reminds me of my niece.
Wow.
Ever. Because there are no little brown girls with puffy hair. Like, and so you don't realize that it matters. And I was just like, and then I'm like, I don't know why I'm like getting emotional about this. It's like a cartoon, you know?
Right.
But it's like, you don't realize how much those images matter or the lack of images matter until then you have something that represents the lack. And then you're just like, oh my gosh, like I didn't know what I was missing type of
Wow,
thing.
that's
I think
a
it's
good
like
point.
someone who's never been in love. You know what I mean? It's like you've never been, and then you fall, you're like, oh my gosh, love.
I get
like,
it.
It's
I
like
get
the
it.
thing. And it's like, you know, so
Right.
it's similar like that. It was definitely a feeling of like that, of like falling in love. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, like this is amazing. So I was like, hey, you know, representation. I was like, this is in some way how we learn about the world. It's what we see, especially as kids. So I'm like, oh gosh, you know, so that is important.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. I didn't take that away at all. Yeah. And that's totally a side of the story that is there. I mean, this kid is white. This kid is in the upper middle class. His parents are educated. Like, he is represented completely, because most of the Disney stories are about white people and about people.
But they're all about orphans.
Yes.
Like, everybody's a freaking orphan.
That's true.
They're missing at least one
But
parent.
he feels like an orphan.
Yeah.
I mean, he's alone
and
and disconnected from, all he wants is to be able to connect, and he can't figure out how. So he is an orphan. He is the protector of the sidekicks, because he's not the hero of his own story.
Right.
And so, but you're right. I mean, he's a white guy, so he connects with almost every Disney movie.
Yeah, be like, hey, look, it's me. I'm there.
Even in the ones about animals, like, the culture is still very much in that.
Mostly. Except for Dumbo and the Black Crows, where they try to be like, those were not supposed to
Pinocchio.
be black people. I don't even remember Pinocchio. It's so
with the donkeys.
No, I don't remember it at all.
No.
Was there? Okay. Oh, snap. Like, I had to go back and watch it. The Black Crows thing, it was actually kind of cute. Personally, I think it's kind of cute, that song. But some people don't think it's cute. But I be done seeing about everything.
But yeah, I just got to thinking, though, like, there was a Native American Disney hero. There's a Mongolian, I guess, is Mulan. Is she Mongolian?
I think she's Chinese.
Chinese.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's an East Asian Disney hero. But it wasn't until 2009? What was it, 2010?
And it was hand-drawn, so that was really weird, because it was like, no one's doing hand-drawn anymore. So that was kind of, but I mean, I imagine.
But it was sort of like an ode to, because it used to be, I mean, all the other ones, all the classics are hand-drawn.
Yeah.
They're not 3D animation.
So it was kind of weird, but the kids, I think, weren't having it. They were like, what is this mess? Like, it's like, Pixar's out. What is this?
Right.
It didn't bother me.
So it's crazy that it took that long to have that representation there in the Disney canon.
Yes. And then, of course, like, some people still talk crap, but people talk crap about everything, I think, for the most part. I mean, I talked crap about Pocahontas because I'm from Virginia, from the area where that actually happened. Right. And I was like, we do not have waterfalls. I don't know that we have blue corn moons. All these things are in the song and whatnot. I was like, well, I mean, there's waterfalls in the state, but not like in that area. Because it's like 20 minutes from where I grew up. And we're just like, the heck. And then furthermore, I'm like, okay, guys, the Native American guy was like really hot. And like John Smith is like basic vanilla mayonnaise. Like, I don't even understand what happened. Like, I was so offended. I was like,
I don't remember that.
Y'all, I know you're like, was he hot? He was totally hot.
I don't remember.
And I was just like,
I just wanted her to choose the white guy with blonde hair.
Right. You're like, can I win? Like, can I get? Yeah. I was just like, he is so extra basic. And I remember watching it and I was like, I don't believe this for 1 minute.
Which is even crazy, because it's not even the real person in the story. Like, Pocahontas doesn't even marry John Smith.
Is it?
She marries John Rolfe.
Yeah. Okay. And he has brown hair. I remember that.
And he's also not like
John
attractive,
Smith
right?
had brown hair too. No one was attractive.
Yeah,
back
that's
then.
true. That's true. Probably not even Pocahontas, honestly.
No one was. No, she wasn't either. If you look at a picture, she's real basic. Everybody was basic. But and stumpy, because they were malnourished. Like, everybody was basic and stumpy. But yeah, so even seeing that, I feel like the Beast looked better than the little prince at the end of Beauty and the Beast. He looked a little effeminate. I mean, I just was like, that dude for real. Like, what are y'all trying to do? Like, so I don't know. It's just a personal thing, but that cracks me up. I'm like, who's drawing the faces for these characters? You know where everybody looked good? Prince of Egypt. Everybody looked good.
True, yeah.
Moses was hot. Moses' mama was hot.
Miriam and Aaron.
Everybody. Zipporah, everybody was hot. Like, I remember my college friends, after the movie, they were like, yo, Moses' mom, though. Like, I'm like, that's horrible. Yeah. You can't scheme on a patriarch of the Bible's mom. Like, that's weird. Like, but Moses was hot, though.
But even in the live action retellings of those stories, representation matters. All white people who are playing these
like gods and kings of Egypt. And I'm like, aren't they worried someone from the Middle East will become incensed and do something about it?
No.
That was stereotypical.
They're not.
Okay.
We'd rather have Christian Bale and Sigourney Weaver. But that's not Gods and Kings. That's the other one that came out like a little bit before.
I know. There was like two back to back. That's how it always goes. I don't remember
what it was called. That's how forgettable it was.
Right.
Whoops.
Gods and Kings sounds important. Yeah.
It was the story. Wasn't it? Is it just Moses? Was it Moses? I mean,
Christian Bale is Moses. But there were two.
It's Exodus. That's what it was called. Exodus.
Okay.
That's what it was called.
Yeah, there were two pretty much back to back.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it was a really
that's an interesting
sweet,
perspective.
emotional documentary, I guess. And maybe I just wasn't in a sweet emotional mood.
But also, you're right. Your representation, like, it matters in the way you even would probably see the film.
Yeah, probably. I was
Because
just
I'm
like, oh, this is
kid
great.
who grew up and had this experience, and this is his platform
sweet.
for understanding his experience.
Yeah.
But because he is this middle class white kid whose parents care and can afford to put him in care.
Yeah.
Like, this story probably wouldn't exist for the family.
95%
Yeah,
of
the
the
family
country.
who has one parent working and
Yeah.
can't be there to understand.
Or if he was the third or
and,
fourth kid.
Right.
Because this is the other thing. They only had 2 kids, and
kid.
obviously they're not going to, well, not obviously, but I mean, they didn't have any more kids after him either.
Right.
So it's like all of that plays into it. Like how large your family is, like the income, the type of people you know. His dad obviously knows very influential people. So I was just like, man, this kid is so lucky.
Yeah, because
he's not at public school struggling and being all awkward, you know. He was in good schools.
Yeah, because there's that one part. I guess I didn't even really make the correlation with his dad being a journalist, a famous journalist for the Washington Post, but where he is friends with the guy who's the voice of Jafar.
Right.
Like, he writes him a letter, and I'm thinking, like, that's crazy that this guy responded. Like, this guy's really great. But now I sort of don't think that. And I feel like, it's only because
they probably know people
his name is known. Yeah.
And they know people in common.
He works in DC, probably works in New York a lot, and they probably have run in the same circles.
Big city, too, because that's the other thing. It's like, if they were from West Virginia, right. Like, this would have gone down completely different.
I mean, there's a doctor in DC who says this is out of his range. Like, when they first realize, this kid is not talking anymore.
Right.
Like, maybe he has autism. Yeah. I can't handle this. And that's a doctor in DC. Yeah. In Washington, D.C. So I imagine a doctor in Iowa.
Yeah, most parts of the country.
Montana.
Like,
South
you'd be
Dakota.
Struggling and just be out there. The kid would have been making like farm animal noises instead of learning how to talk again, because that's all the exposure that you have.
Right.
So I guess I don't know. Like, I'm maybe a little too pessimistic. I wasn't enjoying because I was just like, wow, look at like all of these things. Yeah, like look at all the people they know. Look at how lucky they are to live in.
I mean,
DC.
I did think some of those things. I did think some of those things as I watched the movie. Yeah. And I also at times was really annoyed by the B-roll of Owen as a kid, just riding his bike down the road. I'm like, that is so not natural. You just got in the car and you framed this shot. Because I remember, I thought even before I saw a frame of the movie, when they're doing the intro credits, they've got the director's name and they have director of cinematography, so-and-so. And I was like, wait, I thought this was a story of this guy growing up, and there's a lot of home video footage in the trailer. So I was like, what does the director of photography do for a movie like this other than just frame the interviews? Yeah. But now I see all this extra stuff they did, and
this hey, go do this. We're tape you doing it. Go do this.
Really Disneyfied version of reality.
Yeah.
So I did think those things as I watched it, but I chose to suspend my disbelief and just fall head over heels into the story. And I
You're
loved it.
The magic of film. Ooh,
yes, it's so magical.
So magic, yeah. Well, I mean, that's good. That's good. That's all fine, because I let you pick 2 in a row, and that will not happen again. So.
Well, you didn't really. I didn't really pick 2 weeks ago. You gave me 3 options.
I know, and that was a mistake. I should have just bullied you into watching my favorite.
Yeah. So I picked this time. You'll pick next time.
Yeah, we'll do something. I will see. There's some funny stuff coming up too.
Yeah, that's
true. There's some good movies coming up. I think that'll be interesting.
I also bought the Movie Pass.
Yeah, did you?
I did.
Okay, high five. They should sponsor us.
Do you have it?
Okay. Yeah, I just ordered it too.
Wait, which one?
I did.
Did you
so I can go every day.
One?
Yeah.
I didn't. I just did
Really?
I did the 3 a month just at start to see how it goes.
Yeah.
See if I use it, because it's only 5 theaters in Atlanta you can use it at.
No.
Terra, Atlantic Station.
Oh, only in town? Well, we'll have to talk about that. We'll have to look at it. Yeah, because it's the places that I go.
Yeah, I mean, it's the places I go too, but sometimes there's movies at Midtown Art Cinema that aren't playing anywhere else. Okay. And Midtown Art Cinema is not one of those theaters.
I don't go there.
So
I stay commercial.
Anyways. Yeah, that's not Regal or AMC. So
yeah, I stay commercial, homie. But the Plaza's on there. So
the Plaza is on there, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because I go to the Plaza a lot.
Yeah.
I also have 2 free tickets to the Plaza anyway. So
look at you, fancy.
Yeah.
So Well, so that's the end of our episode, I feel like.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the end.
Unless you have anything else, any other insights, any other questions.
No, I mean, we're going to be sitting in the dark very shortly if you're
It's true.
watching on YouTube as the sun goes down. So
we're sort of transitioning into where we're going to do this.
So
from
crazy.
now on,
So crazy.
We're sort of trying to figure out.
Yeah, we got to figure something out because
What to
winter's
do.
coming.
Winter is coming.
So, all right. But definitely subscribe.
Get ready, Jon Snow.
You know, comment on what you think about this episode, previous episodes, future episodes, about what you think about the world. Just don't spam us. So,
or spam us, because that would be cool. At least we know someone's paying attention.
let's not be needy. So, all right. And that'll be the end of the episode.
I'm needy. I'm so needy.
OMG. All right, guys.
I'm Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh my gosh. That was
signing off.
Please stop.